I'm going to get started, okay? Good evening to everyone and welcome to New London City Council. Today is Monday, November 2nd, 2020. City Clerk Ayala, could you make the roll call, please? I think he's here. Let me see. Okay, you know what? What I'll do is let me do the logistics first, and then we'll do the roll call. Okay. All right. So, due to the ongoing national and state public health emergency caused by the global coronavirus pandemic, City of New London public meetings will be held virtually. Meeting agendas can be found at www.newlondonc.org. An audio recording of this meeting will be posted on the city website within 7 days of the meeting. Public comment may be submitted in writing to jstarts@newlondonct.org. If you prefer, you may sign up to speak at the following link on the City of New London website, newlondonct.org/live-stream. This link will bring you to a fillable form where you may submit your name and you will be added to the public comment list and called on via Zoom during the public comment portion of the meeting. Public comment must be submitted in writing or your name submitted on the fillable sign-up form on the city website at least 15 minutes prior to the scheduled start time of the meeting. Please include your address in your written public comment submission. Okay, so tonight, just want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome the mayor and welcome every other city head department that's here this evening. Finance Director McBride, Attorney Landrigan, and also welcome our wonderful Administrative Assistant, Jenny Starts, to the meeting. At this time, I'm going to call on City Clerk Ayala to make the roll call.
President Dominguez.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Natartez.
Present.
Council Booker.
Present.
Council Sadai.
Present.
Council Goodwin.
Present.
Council Dice.
Present.
Council Burke.
Present.
All present.
Okay, this is President Dominguez speaking. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to call on Councilor Dice to do the prayer and pledge.
This is Counselor Dice, and I'm going to start off with the prayer, and then I'm going to do the pledge, and I ask everybody to silence, and it'll be one person doing the pledge, and we would display the flag, and then I would ask President to do it, the Pledge Allegiance in Spanish. Thank you. Counselor Dice speaking. This is a prayer of thanksgiving. Lord, I thank you for all the families in our community. I ask that you give us guidance as we go forward, but I give thanks to all the volunteers for the food distribution, for the New London Talent Show, students and members, for City Hall being open the weekend before we have our election. I give thanks for us coming together as a community, for us striving forward to doing what is best for our community. I thank you for the drive-through testing sites. I thank you for our teachers that's there in the schools, that's serving our children. I thank you for all the community getting together and for all the officials that's represented today. I ask that you will be with all the families tomorrow, and as a family, they will go forward and do what needs to be done to vote. I ask that people will just lift up your name, and I ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
And you may stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Prometo lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América a la República que representa una nación ante Dios indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. Okay, thank you, Councilor Dice, for that prayer. Wonderful, and the pledge of allegiance too. At this time, I am going to be calling on President Pro Temp Nartatis, who's going to give us an update on the vacancy list of our board and agencies in New London.
Thank you, President Dominguez. So, as a tradition moving forward, we'll try to get these announcements out periodically so that the general public knows what boards and agencies have openings. So we'll start with the Beautification Committee. There's 3 vacancies on that committee. The Citizen Advisory Committee, there's no vacancies on that. Let me just read off the ones that are vacant. Foreign Trade Zone has 2 vacancies. The Pedestrian Advisory Committee has 3 vacancies. P&Z is looking for 1 alternate member, so there's a vacancy there. Public Communication Relations Committee, PCRC, has 1 vacancy. That is an educational representative. The Port Authority, which is a mayor appointee, has 1 vacancy. Senior Affairs Commission has 3 vacancies. And the Sustainability Team has 1 vacancy. Also, the mayor will appoint. And then we have 1 regular member vacancy on the Zoning Board of Appeals. The process for applying is to fill out an application. That application is time and date stamped by the city clerk, at which time he submits to the City Council Secretary Jenny Stars, who then forwards that to the rest of the councilors. Thank you.
This is President Dominguez speaking. Thank you, President Pro Temp Nartatis, for that invaluable information you gave us this evening. At this time, I'm going to move on to public hearings. There is none. And now to minutes of the previous meetings. I need a motion for the first one there. Councilor Sadi.
Thank you.
Excuse me, did you say
President.
there's no public comments? Because I have a public comment.
Oh, it's that's coming later on the agenda. I don't know who that is, but that's coming later. You'll hear it.
This is Councilor Sadi. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting dated October 15th, 2020.
I will need a second for that, please. This is President Dominguez speaking.
Councilor Goodwin, second.
Thank you. Okay, at this moment, any discussion? Any omissions, anything that you see? All right. Okay, seeing none, we'll go right into the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, the motion carries. I will need another motion for the next regular meeting of October 19th.
President Pro Temp, so moved.
Okay, thank you. I will need a second.
Councilor Sadi, second.
Thank you, Councilor Sadi. This is President Dominguez speaking.
And that will be a second to the regular, approval.
To the regular meeting of October 19th, 2020.
Correct.
Correct. All right. So with that, any discussion, any omission, anything that when you read it, reviewed it? Everybody's okay. Seeing none. All right. We will go and proceed to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Okay. The motion carries. All right. The next
President
one.
Dominguez, this is City Councilor John Sadi. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of October 21st, 2020.
Councilor Dice, second.
Thank you, both Councilor Sadi and Dice.
Pardon me, President Dominguez, this is Councilor Burke. I was not present at the meeting, so I will be stepping away from the meeting for just a moment. I'll be back in a few.
Yes, sir. Okay, so you'll be abstaining from the vote here. Okay, thank you. This is President Dominguez speaking. Thank you, Councilor Burke. All right, so again, any omissions, any corrections? Okay, seeing none. All right, no discussion on it, so we'll move on to approve it. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, so now it will be, if I'm not mistaken, 6 approve it, and then Councilor Burke would abstain because he was not here for that special meeting, council meeting. So thank you. So the motion carries. All right, now we will proceed to public comment. Please make sure that wait until I call on you. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Make sure that you state your name and address. The public comment that we have on the list today is Mia Moore. Mia Moore, you're on.
Thank you, President, Council Member Dominguez, Efren. Thank you for all that you guys are doing in this difficult time. And I really want to say that I just want to put positivity out there and say that it's definitely good to know and to see that there are still things going on in the community to try to assist in any and all ways that there is a need. I did present my recent proposal to the council member and the mayor. I was just going to actually read my comment. And I guess because I can't see where I put it, I'm just going to say it that the way that I believe that I wrote it, which is I just recently, as I said, submitted the proposal. I think that in a reasonable amount of time, I did ask the council to reply. I think I asked for a reasonable 72-hour reply. The mayor and council members did encourage me to submit the proposal. I did take time to do research and study and improvement of this. It's called the Shiro Hero pendant, and the pendant does vibrate. The motion does give you a reminder if you do move your hands above the sensor that you wear as a necklace. It does vibrate to kind of potentially limit the transmission of COVID, because the less you're touching your face, your mask, your eyes, when you're out, it could be potentially helpful. And with something like this, with the rising number of COVID-19 cases in New London and the surrounding areas, very serious issue. I know we have the election and other things coming up, things in the community that the council members are focused on the mayor. But I did personally email council member Santi. I don't know, I got to bounce back with that email, but all of the emails look like they were sent. And I just want to believe that the city council and the mayor are interested in the health of our community by trying any and all PPE and forms of PPE, which this pendant necklace is such. And if there is anything that council members or mayor could advise or help with, that is great. On my actual, platform that I am launching right now, I am giving opportunities for the community to have 10 of these necklaces to be worn as a way to prove the effectiveness and to get an opportunity for people to actually wear the device. I've been wearing it. It is a great, like I said, it's a great tool. It's a different idea. I was just wondering if you could reply in the email. And I wanted to use this time today to remind the council members and mayor that I did send that. Thank you very much again for all you guys do and your time. And thank you for listening and consideration.
This is President Dominguez. Thank you, Mayor Moore. We appreciate your public comment this evening. So you know what? There is no other public comment on the list, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to respond, Mayor Moore, right now. Perhaps you missed it, but there was a response to your email. It was dated October 26, 2020 at 1:13 p.m. And it was responded by the finance director, David McBride, and all city councilors were CC'd on it. The mayor was CC'd on it. The CAO, Stephen Fields, was CC'd on it. And also Felix Reyes, the director of Office of Development. So if you did not see it, you know what? I'm going to take the time and I'll just read it to you right now, okay? And then we can forward it to you. All right? It says, good afternoon. Yes.
President Efrain, President Dominguez, I think more appropriately, it would be appropriate for you to just forward that
Okay.
to the correct email, because it might have been bounced back, or we want to confirm that we have the correct information for her on file.
Correct. All right. So would she? All right. We'll get in contact with her, and then we'll follow through. So thank you. I appreciate that suggestion. I'll take it. So I just wanted to make sure that Mia knows that there was a response. So eventually, we'll get the response to you. Okay. Mayor, go ahead. You know what, guys? I'm gonna break a little bit of the routine today. Just go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. We had no way to get a hold of Ms. Moore, so she needs to call either Jenny Starts or Rochelle Meneses at City Hall so that we could find out. We replied to the email we received, so it shouldn't have bounced back, but it did. So we need to straighten that out, but we have no other way of contacting her.
Okay. So this is President Dominguez. Thank you, Mayor Pastro. And I hope this appeases you, Ms. Moore. Just make sure, like the mayor said, follow up with either calling our administrative assistant, Jenny Starts, or the administrative assistant to the mayor, which is Rochelle. Okay. All right. With that said, there is no one else on public comment. There is no petitions. Response to public comment. I already responded, so I don't know if anybody else has something to say. All right. And so if not, we will continue. We will go on to the next, all right, which is reports and communications. So at this moment, I'm going to call on Attorney Londrigan, who's here already. And does any of the councilors have any questions for Attorney Londrigan this evening? Okay, I saw President Pro Tem Dantates. Go ahead.
Thank you, President Dominguez. City Attorney Londrigan. I just had a question on item number 6, cell tower review, replacement tower. Can you just elaborate? What do you mean by regarding replacement tower? These are not new towers. We're just replacing an existing one. Is that what I'm reading?
Yeah, for the record, Attorney Jeffrey Londrigan speaking. We get pretty regularly solicitations from various carriers for certain purchases of the remainder of their lease agreements or requests to put arrays on other towers, et cetera, et cetera. This particular one involves the tower that is down at the Firehouse South Station, which the city owns. Presently, we have, I believe it's with T-Mobile. We have a lease for them for their equipment, and we've been approached by AT&T asking if they could lease some space on that tower. The AT&T proposal would require T-Mobile's participation, but also would require a larger tower to be installed down there, obviously on AT&T's dime. But this is just, again, we get these regularly. We vet them, anything that we feel is appropriate for the city's consideration. We work with the administration and the finance director. And if we think that it's worthwhile, then we'll bring it forward to the council at some future time.
Okay, so this is not a new tower. This is I get it. Okay.
Is not.
That's all.
You're welcome.
Okay, President Dominguez speaking. Any other councilor wishes to ask a question? Okay, I see Councilor Sadi. Go ahead, sir.
Attorney Londrigan, under general side number 4, electronic sign, emails with sign company, status of discussion with federal agencies, letter to DOT with update. Could you just explain what that is?
Sure. That's the electronic sign that's down near the pedestrian overpass that goes over Eugene O'Neill Drive as you're coming into town from Route 32. And we are working on getting permission for our commercial partner in that to be able to advertise. Presently, right now, we're working through getting permission from a federal Highway Beautification Act to permit them to continue to advertise. We're allowed to use the sign for our nonprofit notifications and notifications of the city. But obviously we want to try and work with our corporate partner and get them permission as well. So we're just going through that process. We had a discussion with Representative Courtney's office, and we're keeping DOT in the loop on that.
Thank you very much. I have no further questions. That's Councilor John Sadi.
Okay, President Dominguez speaking. I see Councilor Goodwin. Go ahead, sir.
Through you, Council President Dominguez, to Attorney Longigan, could you just elaborate on number 3, the wireless grant program for city neighborhoods?
Yeah, this is early on in this infancy stages, if you will. But there is a potential grant to bring essentially free Wi-Fi to the city and to neighborhoods. And the IT department, in conjunction with Jeannie Milstein, are trying to identify some neighborhoods that could benefit from obviously receiving free Wi-Fi. We want to try and assist our families and our students, especially in this virtual learning environment that we have going on. And so I had a meeting with the IT director and Ms. Milstein, basically just talking about what they need from a legal standpoint for assistance as they go forward with this grant application.
And if I'm correct, this is Councilor Goodwin, this is in the infancy stage, so there's no grants in hand or anything like that?
Very infancy stage, yes. We're actually just looking at making the applications.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, this is President Dominguez. Any other councilor? Okay, seeing none, we will proceed to the next. There is no council committee reports. There was no committee reports this evening. And the next will be Mayor's Office of Communications, Mayor Passero.
Good evening, President Dominguez. In the spirit of the tradition of short meetings on the eve of a general election, I'll keep it brief.
Okay.
I do have the sad duty of announcing the passing of our former finance director, Jeff Smith. He passed on October 22nd. He served our city well through very difficult years. And he also assisted in the transition and well into my first term, assisting Finance Director Don Gray, and deserves some of the credit for the fiscal stability that we were able to achieve at the beginning of my first term. So, and also I want to say that though we had our policy disagreements while I was on council in your positions, I think that's your role. We did have disagreements, but he was always a great partner. We'd meet at the Dutch across the street after the meetings, no matter how heated, and have a beer and settle our differences. And he was just a great guy. And he was committed to the city. He owned a condo, and he owned it really up to the last year of his life. And he also kept his boat here right up to when he passed. He was a member of the Thames Yacht Club and kept his boat on a mooring there. So I had the pleasure of continuing our relationship after he left city employment. But he was instrumental in so many things, including settling our debt over the Jennings School construction project, working closely with Diana McNeil, and he was just a great guy, and I'm sure those of you that knew him understand that. So he served the city well. I do want to say that the city has worked very hard to be ready for Election Day tomorrow. I want to say to everybody who has not voted already that our polls are safe. We have gone to great extent to keep our poll workers safe, to keep the electors safe when they come to vote. Of course, as I've been saying, we have the weapon. We have the weapon to defeat this virus. We're not waiting for anything. We have the weapon. Wear your masks. Wear your masks. It is an airborne virus. It's an airborne pathogen. Wear your mask. You will protect yourself. You will protect others, and will defeat the virus. So just wear your mask when you come to the polling places tomorrow. We also are cleaning surfaces, so there won't be any contact contamination. There'll be hand sanitizers and social distancing, please, and everybody will be safe. City Hall, we've done a lot of work at City Hall. We're ready at City Hall for same-day registration and voting. I want to really thank both of our registrars of voters for the work they've done. They've been working very, very hard. I want to thank our clerks. They've been working hard. As you know, they opened their office on Saturday and Sunday for hours to give people an additional opportunity to obtain an absentee ballot. So we're at the finish line effectively. Polls open at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're ready to go. We're going to have a safe election, and we'll have the results for you shortly after the polls close. So we did a great job in this city. Congratulations, and we're looking for a successful election day. Well, I want to thank both our Long-Term Recovery Education Committee, led by Myrna Martinez, and our Parks and Rec Department, and our nonprofit partners. We're continuing to expand our distance learning sites, and that project is being rolled out. Great opportunity for our families and our children. This really thrilled me because I had the opportunity last week to tour the building, AR's building on Partial J. It's way ahead of schedule. It's coming along nicely. The apartments inside are just really fabulous. The views. This is 137 apartments. This will transform our downtown business district. And it will be renting on schedule late winter, early spring. There are waiting lists already for apartments, not waiting lists, but there are already they're taking names for people inquiring about renting apartments there. We're very excited about that. You'll notice that the parking lot at L&M is being expanded. That's the start of the other project down on Howard Street across from the L&M building on the Fort Trumbull, the first Fort Trumbull MDP site that's being developed. That project is already starting. By next spring, you'll see some evidence of the construction. So also real quickly on the COVID front, I had a great call today along with our health director and with the other chief elected officials of our neighboring towns, including Groton, City and Town, Waterford, East Lyme, and Ledyard. And we're working together to make sure that we have consistent policies regarding controlling this community spread. We were scheduled to discuss whether we would roll back to phase 2. But if you hadn't heard, the governor has already announced today that he's rolling the whole state back to phase 2, which we all totally support. As we considered it, it was going to be all or nothing. We were to be effective, we really needed to do it all together. But now the state has done it, so I'm sure we're all supportive of it. At least I'm supportive of this process. But it's going to be phase 2.1 because there's going to be some changes. For example, it's not going to affect the personal services industry, so the barbershops and that sector will not have to roll back, but there'll be some effects on our restaurants. But I believe, from what I know from all the businesses I've been interacting with in New London, they were not able to take advantage of the phase 3 expansion because of the size of their restaurants and that sort of thing. So I don't expect that it's going to have a great impact on our restaurants. And we are hoping that these new protocols will make people feel safer. And we're going to get the word out that you can go to our businesses and go there safely. And that's the important thing. So more on that. Phase 2.1 starts on Friday. The governor will get out the rest of the sector rules on that, and we'll be working with our businesses to ease that transition. And we just have to continue to work very, very hard to limit the community spread. Now, one place that last Friday we announced that beginning this week we were restricting access to city athletic fields. This became necessary because one of the most remarkable areas that's contributing to community spread for one reason or another is organized athletic events. And the advice from our local health departments and DOH is to limit organized athletic events. There's a number of factors to go into this, but it's very, very, I'm not going to name the towns, but the health district gave me a list, and in one town, there was 3 positive cheerleaders that ended up quarantining the whole entire team. In another town, a high school football team, there was 1 positive player, 13 players ended up having to be quarantined. There was a hockey league, 6 positive hockey players. And that, by the way, has repeated itself again just recently. There was a soccer league, 4 positive, 1 assistant coach, 2 whole teams had to be quarantined. I can go through this list, but there's a real connection there. For whatever reason, the data is telling us we have to do better to limit that. So unfortunately, for the children, it's very unfortunate, but we are limiting access and by the way, we're consistent with the towns around us on that policy. So we're just being consistent. Finally, we are continuing with our efforts to help our small business community, both downtown and throughout the city, to get through the winter months. We will be very actively rolling out a plan this winter, a safe plan. There won't be any events that require people to gather, but there will be activities that will allow people on their own schedule to encourage them to both visit our small businesses and visit our downtown business district. And our economic development office is working very hard on these initiatives. There's going to be holiday celebrations. They're going to be different, but we're rethinking this whole thing. We're not going to crawl up in a ball and just and just give up on this. We're going at this very hard charging, but we're also concentrating on safety. So I'm going to conclude. Except for your questions, I'm just going to conclude once again to remind everybody we have the weapon to fight this virus. We have the weapon. Wear your masks. Be careful also with holiday gatherings in your at your home and among your friends. You also need to use that weapon. Use that weapon. Wear your mask. Keep your distance from other people. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. This is President Dominguez. Thank you, Mayor Pastro. Any questions for the mayor at this time from any councilor? Okay. Thank you. Oh, all right. Let me go to Councilor Dice and then I'll go to Councilor Booker. Go ahead, Councilor Dice. You have the floor.
This is Councilor Dice. It's not a question. It's just that I want to express my thanks that the City Hall was open for people to register and to get an absentee ballot. It was awesome seeing first-time people voting, and from all, it represented New London. It was everyone there, different nationality, race, and even different, Republican, Democrat, unaffiliated, it was everyone there, and they so appreciate it. So I can't even express how people were shouting, singing, and were just saying thank you and taking pictures as they put in their ballots. So I just wanted to share that. This is Councilor Dice.
President Dominguez, thank you, Councilor Dice, for those words. Councilor Booker.
Yes, thank you very much, President Dominguez. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Councilor Dice, for expressing just exactly what's going on in our city. That is awesome. Mayor Passero, I just want to also say thank you very much for, just expressing the emphasizing safety, safety, safety. The importance of just stressing safety within our city. But one thing that comes to my mind is, what is the strategic plan to get the word out that you can go to our businesses safely, especially within the coming month?
We have a very detailed plan that's been put together by the Office of Economic Development. We have funding from the CARES Act. We are sharing that funding with our businesses. We are also using some of that funding for publicity and media outreach. It's a very robust plan that Felix Reyes, Elizabeth Nocir, and his whole team have developed. So that will be rolling out as we speak. This includes our pop-up store program. It includes some holiday lighting initiatives, the tree lighting, the menorah lighting. We will be rolling out a media outreach to get the word out on that.
Thank you very much, Mayor Passero. I appreciate all the great work you're doing as well. Thank you.
We do hope to use our local influencers too. So sort of a new concept for me, but I think we're moving in that direction. So it's not going to be your traditional campaign.
Okay. Thank you. This is President Mingus. Thank you, Mayor Passero, for everything. And thank you for today's report and even the answers for the questions. So at this time, I'm going to call on President Pro Tem Nartatis.
It's a consent agenda. That the consent agenda proposals set forth at the regular meeting of November 2nd, 2020 are either 1, accepted for the record, 2, referred to committee name, 3, waived from committee to be acted upon as proposed, or 4, consented to as proposed. Can I get a second?
Councilor Dice, seconded.
Thank you, Councilor Dice. This is President Dominguez speaking. At this time, I'm going to call on, no, I'm not going to call on City Clerk. Excuse me. I'm going to make sure to tell everyone if you need to pull something, then make sure that you let me know. Hopefully, there's not too much to pull from today. Hopefully. I'll keep my fingers crossed. All right, here we go. So I'm going to read, okay? So 7.1, unfinished business, and now 7.1A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, 8.0, no new business, excuse me, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. No appointments, 9.0, no executive session, and then 11.0 adjournment. I guess I'll pull that one. Right. And then so at this time, I'm going to call on President Pro Tem Nartatis.
This is President Pro Tem Nartatis. All items having the unanimous support of the City Council are hereby adopted with a single roll call vote. The motions are seconded. The chair calls the roll. The chair declares the motions to be unanimously voted and adopted.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to call City Clerk Ayala. This is President Dominguez. Roll call, please.
Councilor Goodwin.
Yes.
Councilor Booker.
Yes.
Councilor Sade.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Nartatis.
Yes.
President Dominguez.
Yes.
Councilor Dice.
Yes.
Councilor Burke.
Yes.
7 yes.
Okay, this is President Dominguez speaking. Thank you. I pulled out motion to adjourn, so I'm going to call on that one. Motion to adjourn. I need a second.
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 President Pro Tem second.
Second by President Pro Tem Nartatis. All right, now let's vote. All those any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay,
I had discussion.
you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, go.
Oh, man, geez.
No, come on. We broke the record at 7:40, 7:39. All right. So the motion carries. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Take care.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Aye.